And this is Ed in San Diego, California, and my very special guest again on Global TV is Annette Dernick in Cologne, Germany. And I really am blessed to have you again on our show in this one-on-one. Let's talk about love and peace in companies and your most recent experiences on the circuit. You were just out really busy in the past couple of weeks, as I understand. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm at present, I'm preparing a new speech. So I'm a speaker and I'm also a coach. And I also love to support entrepreneurs to bring more peace and more love into their companies. And sometimes people are looking at me like this. So what about love in a company? And then I tell them that it's not about a rendezvous in the lunch break. No, what I mean is more the love, let's say, from heart to heart. So I also have the saying, it's important to have heart-to-heart communication. And if I, as an employee, feel appreciated, if I am treated in an appreciative way, then my work for the company is much different from the one when I am controlled, when I have to fulfill things without understanding. And yes, I think you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah. So the idea is in America, the rage here is to have a duty to care, not a duty of care, but a duty to care. Very proactive, um, taking care of your people, being more human and not dictatorial, more collaborative, and learning about the people and welcoming them to express themselves. Is that going on in Germany too?
It's not that we have something, let's say, like a common sense on this. It's more that in Germany we start talking about positive leadership, and companies really realize that they can increase their profit with this attitude of appreciation of love and peace in companies. And I have several colleagues. I'm a member of GSA, of the German Speakers Association. And so we also have several talks, and there are several members who have the, let's say, same mindset as I have. And we all have the same experience. If we support companies and their owners to really implement this attitude. And for me, it's also a difference to, let's say, having somebody who tells me that I should be nice and really being nice from inside myself. And the experience that we really have is with this attitude, people love to work for this company. They are really maybe not enthusiastic, but they really love their company. And yeah, they share their experience with their neighbors, their family, and so on. And this automatically attracts other employees as well. And so it's great that you already have something like this in the US, and I really hope that it works.
Well, it's not everywhere, I have to tell you. But more progressive and more enlightened of the C-suite is already embracing that, particularly now. Here we are in uh, post-pandemic, and many companies, many staffs are going back into the office because it's where the action is. Not full time. No, hybrid is here to stay. But there is a new use of repurposing of the real company real estate to bring people together rather than cubicles, is to clear those away and have more collaborative environments, because then it's an occasion to come back in the office rather than uh, uh, a trap, being there, work, work, work. Because you can do work outside of the office space. It's been proven.
Yes, so there are several aspects that you mentioned. So first of all, yes, And I can also see that people are also kind of longing to go back to the office to meet other people, because to be sitting in front of the computer working on one's own for the whole day, or sitting in one Zoom meeting after the other, it cannot replace the interaction and the communication really from human to human. So in my opinion, it's more that it's on a voluntary basis that people want to go back to the office. And the other thing is, in my opinion, we artificial intelligence is just about to start. And so therefore, it's also important to really connect with humans in a positive way, to also exchange ideas and to have, let's say, a common mindset. And what you mentioned at the beginning of collaboration, yeah, that's for me, let's say, the new kind of new age, that it will be collaboration instead of conflicts. It will be collaboration instead of confrontation. And I'm really sure that if people won't change, then it's possible that we won't see them on the market any longer in maybe 10, 15 years, something like this, because that's now the future, that we are working together. And I think we can also see it, that we are now talking here. So maybe 5 years ago, it would not have been not possible. Technically, it was already possible, but in my opinion, the settings really changed. And so for me now, it's quite common to talk to you. And after our conversation, I'll have 2 other Zoom meetings with people in the United States, and sometimes also South Africa and Canada and other
Oh, good for
countries.
you. Wow.
And that's also something where I think that we realize that we have more in common than things that are different between people.
So let me ask you a question about what's going on in Germany today, meaning with the economy growing or not growing. What's it like in Germany? Would you say the economy is strong right now, or is it just more seasonal, or is it the same as it was 6 months ago, or is it different?
In my opinion, the challenge to find skilled personnel is really increasing, and I hear really more people lamenting that they don't find personnel. I've also already heard about some robots serving meals in restaurants. And so I would say that there is already a change. And at the same time, if we as people won't change, then we will have difficulties with the change. And I am not no longer talking about change. I'm talking about transformation. And so I would say that there are some companies in Germany who are doing quite well, despite also the high interests that we have. I think it's the same globally. And yeah, that's another topic. But the most the topic that I hear the most is really the one with the employees.
Yeah, and is that more male than female? The chatter?
Um, I can't feel any difference. It's
Uh-huh.
when I
Interesting.
when I meet with entrepreneurs, it really starts very quickly. It's so difficult to find people, and then sometimes they have people and people from other countries, and then they kind of have to find ways with the German laws and regulations how to really allow them to work at the companies, because it's not only it's so. For example, if you came over to Germany and you wanted to work here in a company, that's not possible just like this. There are some regulations that you have to fulfill, and that's another thing that I hear of companies, that they would have experienced employees, but these employees do not get the permission to work in these companies. And
Hmm.
yeah, so that's these are the topics in my, that I would say are the most discussed nowadays.
So these are the main topics for your current speaking and coaching. And now I want to go to a question of how can companies benefit from your personal experience?
Companies can benefit because I really help them to resolve conflicts. So just to tell you a short example,
Yes.
on a business in a business club, I met somebody and we were talking, and then he said, "Oh, Annette, I really have some problems in my company. I have the impression that the atmosphere it's not good, and people are talking about each other and not with each other." And I said, "Okay, I'll just come and have a look." And so what we realized, and that was for me, it was really, let's say, interesting. They had been working for about 20 years. They had conflicts that they had for about 20 years. And so there was a special conflict. And so when I'm working with the teams and also with the leaders of the company, sometimes it's good to have, let's say, to work with just two people. When I see that there are conflicts that really need to be resolved between those two people. And so one of the employees, she was sitting like this at the
Hmm. All buttoned up, huh? Ooh.
and
And
her
so,
boss was sitting face to face on her, and I was sitting at the same table. And yeah, I interrupted then every now and then when I had the impression that it was more, let's say, on an emotional basis. And you know what happened at the end? The employee, she was sitting like this, and it was so great to see kind of her face lighting up, being relieved with the burden of this 20-year-old conflict. And so that's what I really do.
wow, that is amazing.
Yeah. And so this really helps. And so this was a company, or is a company, they do a lot of work on the phone. And yeah, really the atmosphere changed, and there was much more creativity and commitment in this company. Yeah, and this really helped to not only stabilize the turnovers, but also to increase the turnovers and also the atmosphere. And as I'm talking about peace, for me, there are two aspects. So one is the material increase of profit and revenue. And the other one for me is more an immaterial aspect. So when an employee comes home, and I remember these times very well, so many years ago, when I came home in the evening, I was really kind of upset with my boss, with the colleagues, with everything that went wrong. And I was, for half an hour, we were talking about all these things. And so, what an atmosphere is it that I take with me coming home? And if we really have an atmosphere of appreciation in at work, so I come home and tell people, "Oh, it was a great day." And even though if we had a conflict, the conflicts are not the problem. The problem is how to resolve them. So if I come home in the evening and say, "Oh, we really had a misunderstanding, we had a conflict, but we resolved it, and now we can work together in a much better way than before." This contributes also to peace in the surrounding of everybody, family, friends, and so on. And for me, peace is not something that starts somewhere very far away. Peace starts with me, it starts within me. And then from myself, I can really share it. And that's what is so important for me. And to really have it, let's say, all over the world. And I always love to see the globe in your background. And the only thing that I can really do and change is to change me, my thoughts, and my attitude. And if I have this attitude of appreciation and peace, then I can share it with others. And that's what I do in my coachings and in my speeches. And this really has an effect on everybody who's listening and everybody I'm working with.
Well, this is an abbreviated time with us, and I want you to come back again. We have about 6 minutes remaining. So, to summarize, if I may, peace creates value.
Really, yeah.
And okay, so we've also talked about how companies can derive benefit from this. I would like you to consider explaining, if you can, within 30 seconds, if possible, when that woman discovered peace, you said that she lit up. And
Yes.
it was like her color changed, her approach, her posture changed. It was like she had a feeling of warmth and a feeling of what, being welcomed, or the resulting solving of a problem, of a
Uh,
disconnect.
in my opinion, it felt as if she could release a burden that she had been carrying around her for years. So when we started our talk, it was that she said to her boss, "Oh, and you said this and this and that," and he was, "Oh, I can't remember." And she, "Oh, it was about 10 to 15 years ago." And she had always been carrying this, let's say, burden or anger around with her. And then she could let it go. And that was really a relief for her. And that's what really happened. And if maybe you know the film Singing in the Rain. And
Yes, of course, singing in the rain, and everybody gets wet, but nobody cares.
yes, and I had the impression that when she went out of the room where we had our conflict resolving, she was kind of like dancing in the rain.
Fun. As we come to a close, you're also an author. Tell me about one or two of your books.
So one so far is only published in German. It's called The Peace Factor, Finally Peace in the Office. And I would love to be to publish it next year in English as well. Another one is maybe you can see it behind me. I was co-authoring Marie Diamond, and the title of my contribution is Peace Creates Value. And besides this, I've written a lot of as co-author in many books as to project management, communication skills, and also personality.
Annette, Annetta, Dernick, how can people reach you?
So there is my website, www.dernick.eu, like Europe. And this site is in German and in English, so everybody who's English speaking will find the necessary information. And yes, maybe there will also be a link with video. And everybody can really reach me on LinkedIn. And there's only one Annette Dernick on LinkedIn. So just reach out to me, connect me, and it will be a pleasure for me to support you, whatever your challenges are.
Thank you for being my guest again on Global TV Talk Show. I welcome you to come back. I do want to inform you that we will be doing another London meeting. HSBC, the Global Trade Bank, has hosted me now 2 times, most recently last week, December 7, and it thankfully went quite well. And they said, come on back, let's do it again. So it will be April 23 in London, in person, and also virtual. And then from there, we're going to go on to Paris. And the projected date for Paris will be April 25 or 26, one day. And more on all that later.
Yeah, this sounds very, very interesting. I will love to join you. And yes, we'll talk about details.
Yes.
Thank you very
And
much.
one of our guests, incidentally, in the last second here, one of our guests on the recent London meeting was from Berlin. Alexander Langams from Visum, VISUM, which is a immigration firm. He suggested I produce my live meeting with him in Berlin, and maybe in June. We're not sure yet.
That's another great idea. And at the same time, for me, the distance is quite the same. It's 5 hours to Berlin, 5 hours to London, 5 hours. No, it's about 3 hours to Paris. So where I'm living in Germany, I'm quite flexible. And I also speak English and French. So yes, for me, everything's fine.
Well, we'd love to have you. Thank you, Annette Dernick, for being on Global TV Talk Show. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Ed. It was a pleasure to be in your talk show again, and have a great day as well. And see you soon somewhere. Thank you very much.
I love having you on this show. Thank you.
So do
Bye-bye.
I. Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Thanks.